How's your lungs?
Not good still.
Really?
Yeah, but you know pneumonia takes a really long time to get rid of. To recover from.
Yeah.
Like weeks. It's not like well, today you had pneumonia and then tomorrow you don't have pneumonia. I mean, I guess technically at the end that's how it works.
And welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are alive. We survived COVID. Wife got COVID, I got COVID, my daughter got COVID, our dog got COVID, our cat got COVID, our goldfish got COVID. No, the animals did not get COVID, but it felt like the whole house was down for a week and a half, and I could not film last weekend because when I started to, just didn't feel good. Now, I didn't get it bad. My daughter, maybe 3 days of symptoms, but my wife got pneumonia, so she is recovering still from this nightmare, but we're all testing negative, so that's good. We're on the other end of this drama and nightmare, and we are full of antibodies and ready to go lick doorknobs. So let's shoot a video today. So today I'm going to install the Viofo T130. Now, if you watch my channel for a while, you know I installed the 139, I think it was, in my Hellcat Red Eye about a year ago, maybe a little less, and a lot of you wished I would have hooked up the parking mode and hardwired the system in. Well, with this one, I've got the hardwire system, so we will have parking mode, and I will show you what that's like. And I believe every car in America should have one of these things, except my wife's, because it would only serve to prove that she did something wrong when she gets in an accident. So maybe most of us should have these in our cars, and I'm going to show you how to install it easily into the Dodge Charger, and the Challenger is the exact same way. So let's get this video started.
I don't think we can keep doing this. They don't think we can keep making hits about cameras. But I'm the cameraman. But I'm the cameraman. Stay creamy. Yeah, I started on a 50 mil lens. Now I'm about to bag 50 mil. Yeah.
So real quick, a lot of you have asked me how I like having this kind of tan interior in my Scat Pack. So I'll show you in a second, but these things are pretty amazing. Check it out. Let's go show you what it's like having a teenage kid who likes to put her feet on the seats when you're not looking. And that. So this is pretty amazing. Not sponsored by Armor All at all, but look at that, like new. Pretty cool, huh? So these seats clean really easily, despite what some of you have said in the comments that you wouldn't want these because they get dirty. But when they get dirty, they clean up pretty quick. So that'll dry and it'll look like brand new. Alright, so let's jump right in. So the camera I installed in my Hellcat was the A139, and you can tell between the two of these that they're a little bit different. The A139, much larger camera for the front, the rear is the same, and the T130 has a rotating out interior camera, which I love. For when you get pulled over, you can turn it towards the driver's side window so you can capture the police officer tasing you for going too far over the speed limit as it's happening. So pretty cool camera here, a good upgrade from the 139, and something that definitely made me want this one over this one. I still have this one. I'm going to probably put it in the Lamborghini, or maybe I'll give it away on the channel. Stay tuned for that. So let me show you the options on this thing. It's got the HD video, it's got front, rear, and interior camera. So 3-channel, that is a must. I want interior, exterior, but very importantly, I want the rear to be videoed. And especially with parking mode, I'm going to be able to see if somebody backs into my car in a parking lot and capture their license plate as it's happening, or if they back into the front, or if somebody rear ends me when I'm driving. I want that rear camera. Of course, you got the front camera. They all come with that. And then the interior camera, because doing YouTube, there's all kinds of opportunity to film stuff that happens to me as I'm out and about, and certainly getting pulled over. So that is awesome. It's got infrared night vision, so you can't tell that it's being lit up at night, but it's definitely being lit up. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got that rotatable lens, which I love. Voice notifications. Parking mode, which is a big deal. They both have parking mode. And Bluetooth remote, optional. I don't have that, don't need that, don't want that. So let's go through what came with this thing. Actually, what I got with this thing. So I got the hardwire kit. I think this thing's maybe 20 bucks. I'm going to put links in the description below for all this stuff. It's probably about $300 all in. Of course, you have to have the micro SD card. I'll probably upgrade this to 128. Why? Just because I can and I want to. You got the circular polarizing lens filter to reduce and eliminate some of the glare from the windshield. You definitely want to make sure you get that. It's another 20 bucks or something, really cheap. And then the quick tap kit, so I can plug right into my fuse block in the back of the Dodge. So that is everything you need to install this thing in your car properly. So now let's get this thing installed.
All day I got stamina, turtleneck on with my camera, yeah. Stay creamy, man, that's what they say. Shoes laced up and I came to play. Yeah, I'm first team, I'm a superstar. They call me cream, like Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, you have to face it, let's get back to basics. I'ma take the shot like it's a vaccination. I don't have the patience, I'ma shoot right now. Yeah, we undefeated and you gon' lose right now. Like
Alright, so a little bit of planning will go a long way. The cable they send with the hardwire kit is not long enough to go to the back of the car. You have two options with the Dodge Charger, and that is going through the firewall to the engine compartment, to the fuse block in the engine compartment, or going all the way back to the fuse block in the trunk, which is a hell of a lot easier to get to through all the plastic and molding inside the car versus fishing a wire through the firewall. Now, if you fish wires through firewalls perfectly well and you are great at doing that, then hell, run it through the firewall, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run this thing to the back fuse box because I've done that before and it's a lot easier, but I have to extend these wires. So for a couple bucks, I got some wire online. I've got the wire taps here to connect them together, and I will extend those wires to make sure that I can run this thing all the way to the back of the car perfectly fine and hide all the wires.
I can switch it up anytime like this. I'm a videographer and I'm on the verse, so when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. You know I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. Pull up and take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. You know I'm gonna.
Alright, so now let's install the front and rear camera. First, put your SD card in here, otherwise you'll be wrestling with it up on your window later on, so get that done. And then don't worry about adjusting the cameras because you can adjust those later. And you have a couple options here. You can mount the camera here where the whole world can see it inside and out, and maybe it works as a deterrent, but it definitely is not a nice looking thing to be staring at through your windshield all the time. So I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it up here. I've already tested it up here, so I know that the camera inside catches the entire car and the outside catches the entire road. So it's perfectly fine and it's out of the way. Just make sure with the little dots around the windows that you don't go too far in or you'll block the view of the front facing camera. So just bring it over a little bit and stick that sucker on right there. And then we'll run the wires. All right, there it is. Mounted it up kind of where this black stuff is on the windshield, so from the outside it doesn't look bad. You can adjust this little camera right here to show the police officer writing you your ticket, and the front camera can be adjusted as well. And you could put this here, like I said, but it just looks ridiculous. You will get better visibility from the front camera. Here it chops off just a little bit, and I'll show you here how that works. A little bit chopped off because of the rearview mirror, but it's very, very subtle. Not a big deal. I'd rather have that up there than have the visibility there, because whoever hits me there, I'm going to be chasing them for a while, getting their license plate. So, and then there's the interior camera. Catches the entire car, which is great. And it's only black and white because the infrared light is on. You can turn that off so that it's not black and white and it'll be color, but at night you'll want it to turn on so you can set it to auto. So now let's run these wires. All right, so I'm going to run the power wire, which comes from here all the way through here on the passenger side, all the way back, since the fuse block is on the passenger side in the rear of the trunk, which will make it easier to get those wires to that area without having to string them across. And the rear camera wire I will run on the driver's side. Keep the wires separate since there's not as much room in some of these areas, so everything doesn't get too bunched up in there. So let's run these wires. So I'm going through the learning process for you all and ready to pull my hair out, but here's the deal. It is not hard once you figure it out, and I've done that for you already. So to get this wire to stick underneath here, now in the Challenger, at least my Hellcat, this was easy. I just, even with my fingers, pulled that thing back. Now, Viofo does give you an interior tool. This would work. I just had that one also. But you've got to pop this thing a little bit. Don't pop it all the way because you've got your airbag, curtain airbag right there plugged in. So don't yank it all the way out. Just pop it. Just get your hands in there and pop it out after you get the interior tool stuck in. And then you'll start your tool up underneath here and come across. And there's a little bit of glue, it seems like, that just has to be pulled back a little bit. Once you do, then you can pry that back, jam the wire up in there. This, you may be able to get up in there. I don't know if I'm going to get in there. Either way, then run it across and then do the same thing over here. So just a little bit of patience to get this done right. All right, once you got the wires all tucked in, they will be nice and snug. Then finish the other side there. Then run this up back underneath here. And then we will go underneath here all the way to the back to the other camera. And we'll go all the way back here for the power.
Take the shot. Yeah, kid knew I've been shooting my shot. Ooh, the into it, I've been moving the rock.
Put all that back together, tuck everything back in. We're gonna pop this thing back in place, then head to the back. All right, so you're gonna have a whole bunch of extra wire available. So what's nice back here is there's a lot of empty space here, kind of like in my head. So pull this thing down and you can tuck all that wire up in there and spread it out a little bit to bring it out to the other camera. All right, now we're gonna mount our rear facing camera. So you can adjust this thing however you want, but the plug's right there, so it needs to get to that. And what I learned with my Challenger is when I stuck this to the window, after time, my tint started to peel in the perfect oval shape like this camera mount. And from the outside, you can see this clear, almost white looking spot underneath the tint as though the tint's peeling off. So what's nice about this charger is I could probably go here and be okay where the other factory tint is, or the best bet would be to go up here because that's on the third brake light plastic, in which case it wouldn't affect the tint. All right, so we can see that the rear view camera mounted under the brake light is just fine. All right, the passenger side's the same. Pull this down, jam the wires up there, tuck it down in here. We're gonna go all the way back, just like we did on the other side. All right, so I got the wires all the way back here, and of course, this device falls right here, so I found a solution for that. But this device, what this does is it allows you to change the setting. There's a switch right here, setting to turn off the camera in parking mode if your car battery gets below a certain voltage. So I set it for like 11.8 or something, so if the battery starts to die, then it'll just shut off instead of kill my battery, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna tuck this thing in over here. So all gone, can't see anything. I also bought some Tessa tape, so I'm gonna wrap these wires.
Shot like a manslaughter. I develop film, not feelings. Ooh, I develop film, not feelings. Ooh, I develop film, not feelings. Ooh.
So I really want this thing to be clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this rivet, tuck this underneath there, and take it straight back to the fuse block. All right, so tucked all the wires underneath here, nice and clean and safe. And this will come over here into the fuse box. I'll ground the ground right there. Here's the fuses, and I'll show you which ones to use with the fuse taps. I'm going to show you how I found the fuses that will be the right ones to tap into. So I need a constant power for the red wire, and that is this entire row. So the car's off right now. Tap these. All these are good. So I'm going to pick this one. It says it's the center or the console or something. So that is constant power. And then all of these back here are not. So I picked this one because there's a lot of room around it. Car's off, it won't go on. I already tested that one when I turned the car on. It does work. So let's see if it works. So everything works beautifully. We've got the fuse taps in. Both. This is the constant, this is the accessory, and it works great. So now when I turn the car off, it'll go right into parking mode, and there's tons of settings I'll show you in a second on how that works. So it's getting dark out, unfortunately, but we're going to go ahead and turn this thing on. You can see the lights are lit up on the camera, and it is in parking mode at this point, and it's recording. And I have it set for 3 frames per second, and if something was to happen tonight, I would get it on video, which is pretty awesome. It also has high sensitivity. If somebody bumps the car, hits the car in any way, jars the car, tries to get in through the door handles or something, we'll catch that activity as well. So let's go ahead and do some tests and turn this thing on.
Recording. 3 channels started.
All right, so it's out of parking mode and now it's in regular driving mode. and let's go into the app. So the app is really easy. One thing I love about Viofo is they made this app easy. So you want to connect it to the Wi-Fi, which I am already connected to the camera, and then go to the app, and you can see, there you go, you can see the camera view, and you can switch cameras. So this is the rear camera, the front camera, or I'm sorry, all three cameras, the front camera, and the inside camera, and you can see how well that comes out. So I'll put this on the screen in a couple seconds to kind of show you an example, but it came out really, really good. Now it's recording, it's doing its job, and I can control tons of settings. So I gotta stop recording. All right, so tons of settings. I tap here and I go into, and forgive the beeping, so when it's not recording, that's what it's doing to tell you, to remind you to put it back on recording. So just bear with me for a second. And here's all the different settings. Loop recording, recording audio, you can turn that off. Exposure values, it's got so many settings. The G sensor, medium sensitivity for when I'm driving. System settings, so I'll set the date and time and everything in there in a second. And enter parking mode timer, I've got it to where it just goes on right away. Parking G sensor, I've got on high sensitivity, but you can change that medium or low. I'm going to keep it on high and see how that works at first. Parking motion detection, so if the car moves, it's going to turn on. Interior camera mirror, rear camera mirror, front image rotate. So many different settings on here. It's got GPS, so you can put in your car license number, all your Wi-Fi settings so it automatically connects when you want it to. You can even format the SD card. So pretty awesome app here. So let me just show you some sample driving before it gets too dark out, and even then it's going to work just fine when it's dark anyways. Alright, so I'll just show you some sample driving right now, and you can see the resolution of this thing on your screen with all three different angles, from the rear, the inside, and the front. And it's about 5 o'clock at night, so it's just getting dark right now, so you can kind of tell in the camera, but it looks like it looks really clear. Alright, now let's go back and check out how the parking mode works. Do a couple tests. Alright, let's try out parking mode.
Parking recording started.
So it's recording right now on parking mode. Let's go ahead and whack the car and see if any alerts go off that we catch up with later. Let's play with the door handles. Car is locked up and done for the night, and it should still be recording. So that is parking mode. Hopefully that gave you a good kind of example of how this is going to work, but seems pretty simple, just records. So then when I get in here in the morning to take off, start this guy up.
Recording. 3 channels started.
Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed today's video and got something out of it. These dash cams are great. I love Viofo. I love these things. I'm a tech geek by nature, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, which is hardwire my dash cam into my car to have 24/7 security on this thing. Now if somebody breaks into it and steals the dash cam, I guess I need another dash cam to watch the dash cam. But other than that, if they walk around my driveway, try to get in the car, key it, do anything stupid, I should be able to capture who they are, hunt them down, and do horrible medieval things to them. I am just kidding. With that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment, be respectful, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Patience, I'ma shoot right now. Yeah, we undefeated and you gon' lose right now. Like click, 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 swish. I can switch it up anytime like this. I'm a videographer and I'm on the verse, so when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. You know I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot.